Hello, Hwa Chong students. I'm Mr. Kelvin Tan. In this video, I'll be explaining to you how to show the deadweight loss for minimum price when it comes to the product market. Okay, I realize there's a lot of confusion between minimum wage and minimum price that I hope to clarify from this particular demonstration. Okay, so let me illustrate this by the market for food. Okay, I'm going to draw the supply and demand graph. Quantity, price, supply curve, demand curve. This is the original quantity, Q naught. This is the original price, P naught. Okay, so in this case, right, the government feels that this price P naught is a bit too low for farmers to actually feed their families by selling food at this price. So the farmers ask the government to help them raise the income by imposing a minimum price. Okay, which must be above the equilibrium. So this P minimum. Okay, so because this stops the prices from falling below the minimum price, is known as a price floor. At this point of time, the quantity supplied at this minimum price here, the quantity demand at this minimum price is here. Okay, so now note that the deadweight loss here is not the usual deadweight loss that you see in minimum wage. Okay, the main difference I want to stress is that the government is committed to purchase all the unsold stock of food from the farmers at P minimum. So yes, just like the minimum wage, right, there's a surplus. Okay, but in the minimum wage, right, the government is not obliged to hire the unemployed workers. But for this case, right, in order to raise the income to the farmers, the government must commit itself to buying up all the entire surplus stock between QS to QD at P minimum. Okay, so in order to understand how this changes the deadweight loss specification, let's use the few letters. Okay, I'm going to call it A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and I. Okay, so it's clear that before the price control, okay, before the minimum price, consumer surplus is A plus B plus C. Okay, producer surplus is just I plus H. Now, after price control, consumer surplus is now reduced to A. Okay, so means the loss is B and C. Okay, they no longer, because now after the price control, consumers have to pay a higher price P minimum and they consume a lower amount QD, so they only earn A consumer surplus. Whereas for the producers, they have a gain. Okay, they gain because they actually sell OQD at a higher price P minimum, and they also manage to sell more rice, more food that is sold to the government. Remember, the government guarantees to buy the unsold food at P minimum. So the gain, if you look at the table correctly, the total produce, okay, the change in producer surplus is basically B plus C plus D. Okay, it used to be I plus H. That's because they sell Q naught and at P naught price, but now they are selling QS at the P minimum price. So B plus C plus D is the gain in the producer surplus. Now, it is clear from this demonstration that the gain P plus C comes from the consumer's loss of CS. So, in a sense, P plus C is a transfer from the consumers to the producers. Okay, so what's left is D. But we have not yet factored in the cost to the government. So, the cost to the government when it comes to this price control, because now the government is committed to buying all the unsold food at P minimum, is actually C plus D plus E plus F plus G plus H. So in a sense, this entire rectangular block from QD to QS at P minimum is the cost to the government. Okay, so it's quite clear from here that now part of this government expenditure goes to the producers in the form of D. So we can cancel D off. Okay, so you can see that what is left for the cost to the government that doesn't go to anyone. Okay, let me shade for you. It's basically this big area. Okay, big area. So I'm going to use a highlighter. This big area here. Let me shade it properly. This area here is the expenditure by the government on this minimum price scheme that basically goes to nobody. Let me go back to the... Okay, so in this case, the deadweight loss. In this case, the deadweight loss here is basically C plus E plus F plus G plus H. Okay, so unlike the minimum wage, right, because the government commits itself to purchasing all the remaining stocks, okay, what you do is in real life is that you typically store the unsold food in the warehouse, and after a few years, you probably burn it up. Okay, so C plus H plus G plus F plus E, this big trapezium area is the deadweight loss for the minimum price. Okay, I hope this is clear. Thank you.